Hello and welcome to Elgin County Living. I'm your host, Catherine Thompson. Today on our show, my co-host Kate Burns and I will be traveling back in time to explore Elgin County's rich heritage. We'll start off at the Backus Page House Museum in Wallacestown, and then we'll head to the Old St. Thomas Church. We'll finish the day at the Elgin County Museum, where we'll explore barn quilt trails. The Attawandaron, or Neutral Nation, settled in the Elgin County area and grew crops until the mid-17th century. In 1803, Colonel Thomas Talbot arrived on the fertile shores of Elgin County. In the next 30 years, in his role as official land agent, Colonel Thomas Talbot oversaw the settlement of over 3,000 settlers between Windsor and Woodstock. Settlers built roads and cleared land. During the War of 1812, American raiders plagued the settlement, burning mills and stealing horses. After the war was over, new settlers arrived from Ireland, Scotland, and Quakers came from Pennsylvania. Towns sprung up and ports flourished, and an Amish community settled outside the town of Elmer. Cheese factories, canning plants, and fisheries sprung up, making food production an important part of the area's economy. In the 1940s, the Imperial Leaf Tobacco plant came to the town of Elmer because the sandy soils around eastern Elgin County were perfect for the production of tobacco. The plant stayed in the area for over 60 years. The rich history of Elgin County can currently be seen in the historic towns and villages and in events that happen throughout the year to commemorate our history. The first stop on our trip is an 1850s Georgian-style home that now acts as a living museum. Let's check out the Backus Page House.
We are here now with Angela Bobier at the Backus Page Museum, just south of Wallacestown. So Angela, tell us a little bit about the Backus Page Museum.
We started with the Ministry of Natural Resources. They're actually the owner, and we signed a 50-year lease with them in 1997, right at the beginning of the year. And so we've got the museum for quite a while. But the house was built by Robert Morris, the builder, for Andrew and Mary Jane Backus back in 1850, and the family moved in 1851. So what the society first did is get all the funding together to restore the house. It was pretty bad disrepair. So we've got where all the floors are safe and all the plaster's done. And now we're going to move on to the decorating phase, accessories, wall coverings, window coverings, and floor coverings.
Great. Now tell us a little bit about this really unique room that we're in right now.
Well, our last cultural manager, Lori Milosavonsky, put together this exhibit over the past few months, and it's called Get Stuffed, a whimsical look at taxidermy. And that was big in the Victorian age, which is part of our 1850s decade here. And what they did was they decorated a lot with the taxidermy in their homes, but a gentleman called Walter Potter also put together little vignettes, and they would tell stories. So, we have an example of David and Goliath, and a fox spinning, and a beaver and a raccoon sewing. So he told little stories and ended up opening his own museum to show those off.
Great. Now tell us a little bit about what else is here to learn about in the home.
Well, we've, as I said, want to bring it back to the 1850s. So each of the rooms are furnished in that time period. Of course, some of the furniture is from earlier because the families would have had items or heirlooms that were passed down to them that they brought with them. So downstairs is set up the kitchen, the dining room, pantry, parlor, and upstairs are 3 bedrooms. And of course, this is the exhibition room. And the grounds also, we've got heritage gardens, and we're going to be working on an orchard soon that's appropriate for the time period.
Great. And tell us a little bit about the carriage house as well.
Well, we call it the carriage house. It's actually a school portable that was brought in, I think the early 2000s. And we have it set up. We have a kitchen, which is fully functioning for some of our events, and a meeting room, which we use or we can rent out to other people who need a space to meet. And our office is in there. And the nice washrooms, because there are some on site since we are in Johnny Pierce Provincial Park, but those are the nice washrooms that we've got in there.
Great. Now, people looking to come and visit, what are your hours and where can they find information?
Well, you can find information on backispagehouse.ca, and our hours run from May 1st to Thanksgiving Monday, so I believe this year it's October 8th, and we are open Tuesday to Friday, 10 till 4:30, and then Saturday, Sunday, and any holiday Mondays, noon till 4:30.
Great. Now, do you have any special events coming up for this summer and fall?
We do. Day camp starts in 2 weeks. So there's 2 in July. And unfortunately, the second week is sold out. And I believe we only have 1 or 2 spots left for the first week, which starts on the 16th. And then our Heritage Farm Show is September 15th and 16th here on the grounds. So it'll be filled with antique tractors. That we expand our time period a little bit to move up into the 30s and sometimes 40s. Threshing demonstrations, more heritage skills, people will be on site. And we actually opened the barn for that one. And the barn, I think, is dated in the 1890s. So the whole upstairs is a display of farm implements and tools.
Great. Now, do you have any final comments for our viewers out there for when they come out to see the museum?
Well, come on out. If you find, I know we've just had that heat wave, and we were probably 5 degrees cooler out here. We always seem to have a breeze. So if you're in town and need to come out here. The museum is actually central air, which is good for climate control, but also when you're having a tour, then you don't get hot. But you can come out, just have a picnic if you want. The Spicer Trail is here because, as I said, we're a part of John E. Pierce Provincial Park, and you can go across the street to the lookout and look out over the lake. You're about 33 meters up on the bluffs, so you can see Lake Erie because we're right here on the shore.
Great. Well, thanks so much for taking the time, Angela.
Well, thanks for coming out.
And back to you, Catherine.
Thanks, Kate. The Backus Page House Museum's current exhibit is called Get Stuffed, a whimsical look at the Victorian tradition of taxidermy. And make sure you visit on September 15th and 16th to take a look at the way the farm functioned in days gone by at Heritage Farm Days, and then again on December 1st for an 1850s traditional holiday meal. Let's take a short break and we'll be right back on Elgin County Living.